What up, what up, what up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Swish Masters Podcast. I'm your co-host, QtheGuru.
What up? I'm Zay, the executive producer. Q is happening.
And what's happening? We finally reaching to the point that the season points to. And of course, we're talking about the NBA Finals. We just finished watching a very, very interesting Game 7. Yeah. So that's the first thing we're gonna do here. Definitely gotta react to the game we just saw. Gotta react to it. So, as you know, if you were watching the game, the Celtics win the Eastern Conference Finals. They advanced to the NBA Finals to face the Golden State Warriors. Zay predicted the Heat to win. Remember, he is the resident Heat fan, rightfully so. So Zay, tell us how you're feeling and your initial reactions to the game.
Got to give credit where credit is due. Celtics played a better game tonight on, to me, both ends of the floor. Shout out to Tatum and Brown, handling business and going into Game 7 with that Mamba mentality. You saw Jason Tatum having that armband on, representing Kobe tonight. So shout out to them for that. Well played. As a Heat fan, it stings a little bit. This one stings a little bit more than it has in a while. I really thought, that I know that we had a chance at this at a finals berth this year, and just a little too lax at the end of the game, or pretty much throughout the series, and we can point to injuries and all kinds of stuff, but at the end of the day, just kind of got outplayed on both ends at the end of the game. Shout out to the guys for a hard-fought season. Shout out to Jimmy doing everything he could to put us over the hump. But once again, shout out to Jason Tatum winning the first ever Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Shout out to Al Horford making his first finals appearance after many playoff games. So yeah, that's my initial reaction.
Oh man, it's tough. Beginning the game, it seemed like the Heat came out kind of sluggish. To be at home, they were missing that intensity from them in that first quarter. It was honestly, the first half was like Jimmy Butler all by himself. I don't want to hear any Jimmy Butler slander. Jimmy Butler played his butt off. He really did. It's for Miami, is all about the help. The help really didn't step up tonight. Unfortunately, you had some buckets here and there from Bam, and Kyle Lowry made some key defensive plays at certain points, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough compared to what Boston had. And that's really what was the main difference. The Celtics it's like the Celtics and the Heat flip positions based on the intensity. The second half is like Boston came out kind of flat, and for the Heat to play so poorly and to only be down like single digits or whatever, or at least by 10 half, that's a success if you're the Heat. And if you're Boston, even though you got the win tonight, I'm not sure how confident you can be going against the Golden State Warriors team based on your performance tonight. So we get into that a little bit later too. But It was very competitive down the stretch. I'm glad it was more competitive. But yeah, that's my initial reaction. I predicted the Celtics to win, but it was. I really did think at a certain point the Heat were like coming back to win. I really did. I really did. So this is at this point we can talk about what exactly went wrong for the Heat now, and the future for the Heat. Will we see them return to this point? Right? What can they do to get over the hump? They clearly had enough to get here. They were the number one overall seed, but it still wasn't enough. So, you as a Heat fan, what is it that the Heat are missing here? I mean, ideally, the first thing that comes to my mind is health. Make sure you're healthy. But other than that, is there anything that he can do to get over that hump? To like, yeah, this team is going to the finals.
You touched on the first topic. I would say is getting healthy. Obviously, we had a lot of guys that were banged up, including Jimmy Butler, dealing with right knee soreness. So first and foremost, now that the season is over, take the time to heal up and get treatment, get healthy. The second thing is adding a piece. I think is probably the best option. Another ball handler, someone who can give Jimmy some possessions up. I'm not asking for a person that can score it like Jimmy did these past few games in the playoffs and everything, but someone who can hold down the fort and give Jimmy that type of break, and getting our young guys, still like Bam, still a younger player, giving them that time to come back and develop and understand how the game works. I think that's the main piece, and I know Pat Riley and Coach Spo and everybody's going to be in the summer lockdown. It's probably not going to be very long now before we hear, moves being made and rumors and everything. I think I'm looking for them to be aggressive and develop, whatever they can. And still, we have a lot of young players that, are undrafted. I think that will be fine. And this will help them to, this experience will give them a push in the future. But I definitely think that, the window isn't closing anytime soon. And as long as Jimmy and Bam are there healthy, we should be fine. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, good points. I want to go back to that game real quick about what went wrong. All right, so this is the point right here. I'm not mad at Jimmy Butler for taking the shot, but he's in transition. Al Horford's backpedaling. Jimmy Butler decides to go for a three. At this point, he is 1 for 3 in the game. At this point, me personally, I'm not. When he took the shot, I was like, "Oh, that was a chance." I was like, he didn't have to go for that there. I think there was a chance for him to potentially get an and one because he was killing it in the paint consistently the entire game. And to come back in that sort of time span and to take that jump shot, you live and die with it, it's fine, but what was your thought when you took that shot? I was like, you have to go for it right there. That was literally my reaction. I was like, Jimmy, you had to do that. That was my reaction. What was yours?
Honestly, I'm not mad at it. He's been very much better than in the regular season as far as his 3-point percentage. And earlier in the game, he had a shot just like that. So I'm not, I'm not questioning his shot choice. Obviously, we know he's not the best 3-point shooter. But when I saw the shot, I was like, okay, I get what he was going for, and it would have put us up 1 at that point. And, regardless of whatever the shot was, it still was either, he still had 3 options, and he still missed at the end of the day. But I don't condemn the shot, the choice to shoot a 3-pointer, but I think it would have been a bit better if he would have maybe worked the clock a little bit, get a better shot, and we had numbers, we had some transition. Al Horford was kind of down low by himself. I can't remember who else was in the half court at that point for the Celtics, but I think if he would have given a little bit more time, or, it would have been great to get an easier shot for him specifically, but it was, I don't know, it's tough, man. It's a shot that I wish he would have knocked down, but it's also a shot that I wish, like, if he were to take 3 still, I wish he would have given time for us to have Bam or somebody down low that could, be there to box out. Because it was just, I want to say it was just Victor Oladipo, and it was against Al Horford, and I feel like Al Horford is pretty good forward that's going to win that rebound matchup. But, we live and die by it, and you can't make them all. So I was like, I'm not mad at him taking the shot, because I believe in him, and I trust him to make the right decision. And at that point, I got what he was doing. It just was unfortunate that it didn't go down.
Yeah, I definitely understood why he took the shot. I can also understand why Eric Spoelstra didn't call timeout.
I mean, at that point, I don't even think we had timeouts left. And
you had 1 left, I think. You had 1 left. And it sucks because now when you go back, you had a burner timeout. Kyle tried to pull the chair.
Yeah.
He made some mistakes in this game. I ain't gonna lie. He made some gambles.
I wasn't even gonna touch on it, but you bring it up.
That's your guy. He made several. He was almost in foul trouble again, but thankfully they didn't get him too much trouble early on. Those real early fouls. We were like, again, you fouled out last game, and to already start the game like this. And I think that plays into the overall intensity of it. And that second foul, that was just a lazy foul. There was no reason to take that foul. You're already set. Your defense is already set up in the half court. There was no reason to foul. I think it was Smart at that point. So, yeah, some really, really mistakes right there. And Jeff Van Gundy touched on it too about the habits. So habits do catch up with you.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah,
definitely made some bonehead plays in this game. I'm not taking my former stance of, I really am not a big fan of him, but I respect him. I've given him that respect, but I still, some of the things that he does on the floor sometimes, they bother me as a basketball fan. And tonight was one of those nights.
I mean, he did get some key charges for y'all at certain points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting that he has.
But he's been doing that all his career, though.
It's just
that's who he is.
It's been moments in his career that make me question his basketball talent. Sometimes, you know what I mean. I respect the dude, but it's just certain things that I just like. This dude is, and especially in his past, it's just been like, I don't understand why you do some of the things you do. And tonight was one of those nights where I respect you. I'm not saying I don't like you anymore. I'm saying I just don't like some of the things that some of the choices that you make, that they bother me. So yeah.
I think you just give him some grace just because he's on your team. I believe that Kyle Lowry is not on the Heat right now. You will go in on Kyle. He did make some mistakes that were very questionable. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll be honest. If this was Kyle Lowry and he was in Toronto or wherever else, probably. I mean, like I get it, and I'm like I said, I it's not even that I don't even like. I would probably give him the same. Honestly, I give him the same reaction whether it was him playing with the Heat or not. But
yeah,
I respect him because he did, after all those playoff flops, he did redeem himself kind of in 2019 with Kawhi, and I respect him as a regular season player. But in the playoffs in the past, he's had some blunders. I'm like, man, I don't get it. And then, after he finally got there, got over the hump, got his championship, joined the Heat, I was like, okay, I'm trying to grow and not look at him in the same light. And plus, I know he's dealt with injury and everything else, but it's still a fact that he made some bonehead plays. And I think as a basketball fan in general, not just a Heat fan, everyone's like, why would you, we're in a half-court defense and you just take a lazy foul. We need you in the game. We need to get in rhythm. Why would you foul Marcus Smart on a random trend, not even like a slow mid-transition type of play. It wasn't even like he was by himself on an island. It's just like certain stuff I just don't understand sometimes, man. But
So how do you feel about them calling back that 3 from Max Strus?
I mean, I looked at the replay and I guess his heel touched the line.
I don't know. I wish you saw different angles of that though.
Yeah, it's a weird way to go back, and after you initially, that's what the problem is. It's like after you initially count it, and then I feel like maybe it was a timeout. I feel like some time passed, and like, oh, the 3 didn't count because he stepped on line. It's like, when did y'all even review it? You know what I mean? Like, and what caused it to be reviewed? Which is, I mean, I get it. It's a cool thing to make sure you get it right. And the angle that I saw from the game was like, okay, well, I guess he did step out. It just is, unfortunate that it happened that way.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate. So Tyler Hero was eligible to play, but he only played 6 minutes and 43 seconds. So I thought when he was out there, he looked okay. It didn't look like to me that he was just hurting. So I think for the most part, I think it was just a coach's decision not to let him play, especially in the second half. I don't think he had any minutes in the second half. So,
no, he didn't play at all in the second half.
And based on the pregame interview when he was talking with Lisa, it seemed like he was definitely ready to go, based on her reporting. So I don't understand why wasn't Tyler available, because you need, you guys as Miami Heat squad needed some offense, and you just weren't getting it. Like Kyle Lowry went 4 for 12, Victor Oladipo 4 for 12, Strus 3 for 10. Vincent didn't play too many minutes. He played about 15 minutes. 1 for 4, and Tucker, he's mostly out there for defense. So we don't really expect too much from him offensively, but he was still 0 for 3. The only person that contributed for the Heat was really Bam Adebayo, which I said he needed to step up. He did. He played decently, but I wish there was more of a. He gave me 25. It's not bad. I wish his points mostly came in in the second half. I think that's when he really showed up in the second half. I wish he showed up a little bit in the first half too. I don't know. I feel like Miami. I feel like they just rush some shots at the end. I feel like there's like a lot of rush shots that weren't like smart, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Those last 5 minutes, they looked a little flustered, and they were trying to get up quick shots instead of getting good shots.
And Boston, they allowed them to come into the game to get back into it because they're trying to play prevent. They're playing prevent like defense, like wasting time on the clock, and just lanes were totally open. They're able to get into the paint super easily. That's how they're able to cut the lead down.
Yeah, mine first half defense was just atrocious. I remember watching that play with Smart being in the pick and roll, and he just slipped the screen, wide open, no one rotated over. The problem for the Heat was that, you know, if they could play defense, they couldn't score. If they could score, they couldn't play defense. It was like there was no point in the game consistently that they could play on both ends of the floor. And, you know, thankfully, Boston made some mistakes and allowed the Heat to stay in the game, but they just couldn't lock in on both ends at the same time, and therefore never really gave themselves a fair chance. And Boston was able to take advantage of that. Boston going forward have to be better with, you know, just their rotations, and they'll be fine. But, you know, a lot of things went wrong as far as defense for the Heat, but we'll see about it next year again.
Yeah. And final analysis on this game too. Looking at the overall team comparisons, Boston out rebounded for the most part. The threes were not falling down from Miami at all. About 20% from three. It's not good. Although Boston was 34%, but you know, still. Yeah, this right here, I forgot about this. The free throw misses. Kyle Lowry, particularly in the first half, those free throw misses were not good.
Yeah, I remember
that played a factor too. I almost forgot about that. Those free throw misses.
Yeah, it was a point I remember that the Heat were 10 of 18 from the free throw line, and I look at the score. If you make 6 or 8 of those, you're down. You're either tying the game or you're down within 4.
Mm-hmm.
If you just make majority of the free throws, but they missed way too many. It was just like,
yeah,
the basic things, you know, went wrong. They couldn't make free throws. They couldn't, you know, rotate on defense. No one else could score really outside of Jimmy, and then Bam kind of turned it up. Just a lot, man. It was, man, yeah. That everyone was missing free throws, and I was like, man, could we just? Everybody's going 1 for 2 on each trip. I'm like, man, oh my god. If we could just get consistent free throw shooting, we could be in this game. Like we wouldn't have to have fought back so hard. We would have been right there the whole time. But yeah.
Another like what you doing moment was in the first half, towards the end of the first half. Victor Oladipo, I think he was trying to get a 2-for-1 situation going. To take that shot, even if you're trying to get 2-for-1, that shot's not going to cut it. At least try to get a little bit closer to the line, at least. When he did that, I'm like, yo, take that shot, this is a heat check. And he didn't have it going like that at that point, you know. I mean, he made like a shot here there earlier, but not right there. And I was like, man, things like that can kill the momentum. So that was another moment. I was like, what you doing? You know.
Yeah. I saw the shot and I was like, why did he take that? And as I think Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, and Mark Jones pointed out, if it was a 2-for-1 shot, it still was too late.
Right.
And on top of that, he can shoot, right? He's a 3-point shooter, but he's not a deep 3-point shooter. He's not a deep threat like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. I mean, I get what he was trying to do, but it was more stuff than just that. That was a bonehead play as well. But
Yeah,
it just was a lot that went wrong.
it was.
I hate that shot too, but yeah.
And not attacking enough in the transition too. Like to really get back into the game, you gotta attack in transition. There were certain points in the game I was like, okay, push it. Like, don't let Boston set their defense. If they set their defense, that's it.
And Boston was running it. Transition
They
points.
were every time. That's the other stat I wanted to point out too. Fast break points. Boston won that category 20-13. So yeah, it's just the intensity in the beginning of the game wasn't there for the Heat. Boston had it, and then it just switched in the second half. And I was a little disappointed in Jason Tatum's performance too. It was like he wasn't attacking enough. Even if you have a Kobe band on you, I think you would like show a little bit more intensity. But he showed up a little bit in that fourth quarter. Finally, he made some really tough shots to help the Celtics stay ahead. And even though the Heat made consistent runs here and there, the Heat never took the lead. It was like right there, just never took the lead. Boston always makes some type of play to come back. So yeah, that's that. And to go back to what the Heat can do in the future, listen. I was looking at your roster. I forgot you had Marquise Morris on your roster.
Yep.
What? So tell me, what's up with him? Because I feel like the Morris twins were, like that. They were like hot commodities at one point. You want to get them because they're good stretches and they can also have a little hustler in them. So why didn't he play this series?
I think the problem for Morris specifically, he was returning from injury and had been out of the lineup for a while.
Okay.
He only got a few minutes of playoff run this season.
Gotcha.
And the way that Coach Spo really does his rotation is more so of a 8 to 9 person rotation. And we saw that change a little bit with, injury and stuff. But
especially this game, he cut the rotations down to only about 8 in this game.
Yeah. So, I want to say Jimmy played the entire game.
He did. He played the entire game. He did not rest.
I think we didn't play Morris. We didn't play Damon. We didn't really play. We played small, trying to outrun the Celtics with their size with Horford and Williams and the other Williams.
This is my thing. You just paid Duncan Robinson that money. It's for him to not even get much playing time in the playoffs. I'm talking about the playoffs as a whole. It's like you made this investment in the player, but you're not playing him. I know he's a liability on defense, but if as long as he gives you something on offense, why not give him a chance to try to play? So I feel like you guys could potentially have the pieces you need. They just weren't playing.
But like you said, with Duncan Robinson, he's such a deep, and I love him. I love Duncan. I love what he does. I love how well he shoots when he's getting hot. But defensively, I right now could probably score on Duncan Robinson. I just don't believe in him. I have zero faith in Duncan Robinson, and every time I see him, I'm like, okay, there's the matchup that you want if you're the opposite team. You want to get Duncan Robinson on one of your perimeter guys because he's got to get better on defense, and I feel like that's going to be an emphasis for him, especially now that he didn't get to play. Because yeah, of course, I would love to be able to play Duncan Robinson, get him on some screens, catch and shoot, man. Yeah, but it's when it comes to the playoffs, we need guys that can do it on both ends of the floor, because that's Miami's specific brand of basketball. And if you're not able to stop anyone and you're not making shots, you're not going to be in that rotation. Even Victor Oladipo, who at some points wasn't getting run, and then all of a sudden, second half, he's the guy come off the bench. And he was getting in one of those games, he was getting key steals, defensive stops.
Right.
And on top of that, he's able to get his own shot. He's another guy that can handle the ball. Duncan can handle the ball, but not at that level. He can't create. He's not really a shot creator.
Right.
And yeah, of course, we're paying him millions, a lot of money, but I think that's just part of Heat culture too. Is just understanding your assignment really. And he made, even though he was, the rotation was tight, Spo can easily change it up and throw somebody else in there just to switch it up, because it's the playoffs. You never know what may give you that edge. But for this series and I guess generally the playoffs, Duncan was not really. He wasn't it. But I have I'm not worried about him. I think he'll be fine. And it definitely. I think he understands it, but I definitely can see why that would be troubling. And if you're used to playing, you want to get out there and shoot and play ball, but it just wasn't the timing for him.
Yeah. And yeah, Tyler. Even before Tyler got hurt, he wasn't really effective in the series. He didn't really have much of an impact like that. So, if I'm the Heat, I guess I just evaluate your roster. Seeing if some guys can actually stay. You got to make a decision on Victor, I think. Right? See if you still want to keep him. If I'm Victor Oladipo, I probably want to resign with the Heat, just because. I don't know, because I almost feel like you guys got to reconstruct your roster, because you have some good players, but I just don't know if it's enough. Max Strus showed me a lot. I think he can have a good jump next year, maybe, based on how he played this year. And Morris can get healthy. That could be another player you guys can keep in your rotation. I'm just really looking at Tyler Hero, because that was the guy. That was supposed to be the guy, to be that consistent scorer alongside Jimmy and Bam. So I don't know. If you guys, I hope they just really have to figure out who they can get in free agency, who they can probably potentially trade to get someone else. Like, look at your roster, see who's probably not fitting for you, and work on trading and improving the roster as a whole. Because that's the thing, I can't really point out a single thing you guys need, because it seems like you have all the pieces. It's just that health was a factor. You got to get healthy for sure. And other than that, because you got some floor spacers, you got defenders. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You got to evaluate the talent you have and see what you can possibly give away and trade to get some cap space and go from there. That's what I'm saying. I really wish you guys can, I guess, just make a decision on Duncan Robinson. Get with him the off season, help him be a better defender. Because defense, at least just give effort. I think he'll try. Based on the games I've seen him play, I think he tries. He has a good heart to try. It just Jimmy get with him in the off season, because Jimmy goes through some grueling training sessions in the off season. Like, train with him, get better. Tyler Hero as well. Go on, train with Jimmy. Jimmy, get everybody together. Y'all train, get better. That's the only thing I can think of. Because other than that, you're kind of stuck. You know.
I mean, I don't see it as stuck. I think it's just it was unfortunate that a lot of guys get banged up, like Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I know pregame he was saying he felt better, it was good, but I also watched the pregame and I saw a couple of his movements and I was like, that doesn't look right. That's just me. So I feel like he got a little tight, soreness. As far as like the rest of the roster, I like the team that we built. I like the chemistry that they have, and I think they just need to improve. But I do, the NBA is a business, and at the end of the day, players are going to move, new players are going to come, and that's just part of this game, part of this league. I think personally, like I said, a secondary type of primary ball handler, maybe another point guard or another wing player that can command the offense for a few possessions to give Jimmy some time. We need, to me, a dynamic big that can give Bam a breather as well. And Markieff Morris is a solid player. I think he needs to get healthy, and we'll go from there and see about maybe finding someone else to add to that roster. But I think the team will be fine. I think they'll be fine going back into next season. It just is a matter of finding the right people that also work within this Heat culture system.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
For sure.
Yeah, but do you think their title is closed? The chance for yeah, of course. Yeah, this depends on what they do if they can get back there. That's where I'm at. What can you do? Because the East is loaded too in the East. So at the conclusion of the game, Jason Tatum was named Eastern Conference MVP. He won the Larry Bird, first time ever. So I think we said this before. Jason Tatum is definitely a superstar at this point. As a superstar, he's going to get the superstar treatment and the superstar criticism. If he ain't show up in the fourth quarter like he did, I was going to get on him because he's a superstar now. But he showed up and he made some big shots. So it's well deserved. Shout out to Jason Tatum. How does it impact his legacy? Again, I just think it just proves that he's a superstar. He's at this level now. He's going to be a person that will say could be an MVP candidate in the future, potentially every year based on how he plays and if he can stay healthy. So, yeah, what's your reaction to Jason Tatum? I thought Jimmy Butler could get it too, but of course they probably not going to give it to the loser. So, yeah, what's your reaction?
Yeah, Tatum played a solid game, had a solid series, and he's been proving all playoffs that he is an emerging superstar talent. Not mad at him getting this MVP at all. I think he very much deserved that. He was the best player for Boston. I think for him, we're seeing the game kind of slow down for him. It comes to a point where a young player, they understand how to operate, not just, I can get buckets whenever I want. He knows how to operate this team, whether that's, his scoring ability, which, he's a great shooter, great handle. I think we talked about it before. Quentin Richardson, I think was on a podcast or something I was watching. They call them moves on moves on moves because Tatum just was early in his career just handles move after move up. I got him, but I want to do an extra behind the back crossover. And now he's at a point where he's just taking his time, using a quick move, getting to his spot, or he's facilitating and getting his teammates involved. So I definitely see the evolution in his game, and I think that he's just growing up and becoming an even better player. So I definitely think it's he's well deserving of this award. So yeah, shout out to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown too. I know that people also talked about for the longest, they should split up, they should move those guys, and I think those two just came to an understanding of like, all right, we block out the naysayers, block out the haters, just hoop. And they Jaylen Brown solid. I think he had 24 tonight. Also is emerging as a superstar talent, all-star level type of player. And they'll be fine going forward. I think they've just kind of started to figure it out now. Well, I mean, clearly they figured it out because they're going to the finals. So.
Yeah. As a Heat fan, you should be encouraging them to break up because you could probably get your hands on Jaylen Brown. I don't know.
It's respect. I mean, I don't know how to feel
in
the finals because it's like, all right, I can't. The competitive nature that I have is like I can't go for the team that just beat my team, but I respect them. If they win it, they win it. They deserved it.
Right.
At the same time, I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. I've been watching Tatum and Brown for a while, bro. And
we've been seeing them grow up for real. To be like these emerging all-stars and superstars and Jason Tatum case.
They're the future. And I'm like what I'm seeing. Like I'm not mad at them both hooping and playing well against us. That's good. It's good to see competition in the league. So I hope they always are like this dynamic duo, and we'll see them next year.
Yep, you will. I will say this too. Shout out to Ime Udoka because he really put this together to let them play cohesive. And in the beginning of the season, it was kind of rocky for the Celtics. We were all questioning like, what is going on with the Celtics, But they really, it's turned out to be a really good story.
Oh yeah, man. Mad respect for Ime Udoka. I think he's only the third black coach for the Celtics in their history, and this is his first head coaching job, and to go to the finals. You know what I mean? Like to start off the way they started off, and then January to this point,
crazy.
The craziest turnaround I've seen in years, man. So definitely got mad shout out. And it was funny because I saw Brad Stevens. In the tunnel, like walking, and I was like, "Look at this guy, the president."
Yeah, president now. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy how a change in position can affect the team.
Right. Oh no, he didn't get fired. He got promoted. Like that's crazy still when I think about it. But as long as Ime Udoka was able to do his thing,
I mean, it says a lot, man. You coach for this many years and couldn't get over the hump, and then you move up and you bring in the right dudes. Like,
yeah, it's essentially the same roster, right?
I mean, yeah.
So it's just a coaching job. The change in the voice that does a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Jason Tatum.
Shout out to Tatum.
So of course this means the Celtics and the Warriors will face off in Game 1 in the NBA Finals starting Thursday. Let's look at the series overview. Right now, team comparisons. It's pretty even in points and rebounds and assists for the most part. Looking at this team stats overall, it's pretty even. Points again, 111 to 111, and rebounds 45 to 46, 46 for the Celtics. Assists, Golden State's up by 3, 27-24 per game. Steals, Warriors lead by 9 steals a game to the Celtics about 7. Blocks, Celtics have about 6 blocks a game compared to the Warriors in 5. Turnovers are pretty even. Warriors at about close to 14 to 15. Celtics at 13 to 14. Field goal percentage is about even, 46%. Three percentage is close to the even. Golden State and Celtics both about 36%. And free throw percentage, that's the difference. The Boston has about 82% compared to the Warriors at 77%. But during the regular season, I remember there's some Steph wasn't an effective shooter in the regular season, so he's the different stuff at this point. So I'm not sure that counts. So looking at some of the stat leaders, of course, the leading scorers for the Warriors, of course, is Steph Curry at this point. You got Jason Tatum. Draymond Green leads in rebounds. Robert Williams for the Celtics. Then you got another key players are Draymond Green, who leads in assists. You have Marcus Smart, who leads in assists for the Celtics. And as far as the block category, Robert Williams leads in that category for his team, and Draymond leads for his. So that's the overall team comparison for this series and some overall stats. It looks pretty even, but we can break it down. The Warriors are going to be at home for this game. I'm excited to see this game because part of me rooting for the Celtics to win. I also thought the Celtics were the best matchup for the Warriors defensively. And I'm really excited to see what they can do just because of the size and length that they have. I'm not saying Miami has good defense too. I just mean the size and the length of the Celtics can really bother some players on Golden State. So I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see the defense they employ. This is going to be a good series. I think they can go 7 games for sure. I think you'll go 7 games.
Are you saying 7 games for Celtics win, or?
I mean, I guess we can go and do that too now. Make all my predictions.
Let
me just say, for the good of all humanity, and the good for all of NBA fandom, I'm going for the Celtics in 7. I do not need to see another dynasty for the Warriors, man. The Warriors win this finals, it's like a Pandora's box being open, man. It's over. It's over at this point because they'll only get better. Then that means they got championship experience now with these young players, and it's come on, Celtics. So I'm going for the Celtics on 2 fronts. I think they can challenge the Warriors defensively with the matchups. Who exactly are you to guard Jason Tatum? You only put so many people in. Andrew Wiggins for sure. He's athletic enough. And then you also have to deal with Jaylen Brown, who is also long and athletic. Who else you going to get? I guess Clay's going to have to handle one of them. Draymond's going to have to guard one of the bigs. And now the Al Horford or Robert Williams. And that's the other thing too. The Warriors are kind of small. I don't think they have a big to get those rebounds. I just think the Celtics have definitely more size and athleticism. So I'm going with the Celtics.
They have Looney, they have Kuminga, they have Draymond.
They do, but it's still Al Horford. Still, he's bigger. Still, Robert Williams is on the smaller end for a center, but he's still athletic enough. So I don't know. I don't see them having they don't really have they don't have Wiseman is not playing. Wiseman is 7 feet. He could be effective for him, but he's not playing. That's what I mean. They don't have a big. They don't have a rim protector like that. Except Draymond, I guess. But Draymond is probably stretched thin. He'll be stretched to the perimeter probably for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think the Celtics is a way to go. And I'm also hoping in my heart as a fan that don't let Golden State win.
Crisis.
Another crisis.
Crisis on infinite courts.
Basically.
Oh man. I get what you're saying. And I think that the Celtics' length can give the Warriors some problems. Uh, but we're still talking about an experienced Warriors team that's done this multiple times, and it's just something different about the Warriors, man. Like especially when you go to Golden State and Clay, Steph, Dre's up top, they're running, and it's all of a sudden they're just open. Like it's just magic every single time, and it's like teams are gonna get sped up. That's what they do. Like they play at a certain pace in the half court and in transition that teams get sped up on their offense, and they kind of try to match what Golden State's doing, and that's what downfall happens. And I get it, like they have length, they have size with Horford and Williams, and they're bigs, right? But the Warriors are going to play fast, and I don't know if Horford. Yeah, I mean, we know they're gonna like go to the rim, but if you get those matchups where Curry is like is gonna pick and roll and he gets switched to Robert Williams, he's probably gonna get by them. I feel like on top of being experienced with the Warriors and the greatness of Steph, Clay, All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins. The Celtics are just unexperienced when it comes to the finals. Like they've been at the conference finals a few times in the past, but playing at this level, at this pace against this team is going to be a big challenge. And like I said, I don't know. I'm not going against Boston. I mean, I'm not going against either team, but I can't really root for either team either. So
true.
I have a prediction that I feel like a lot of people are going to go with. And it's no slight to this team.
Uh-huh.
But, man, the Warriors are dangerous. I'm sorry.
So I take you going with the Warriors then.
I'm not rooting for them. I'm with you. I'm like the same way. I don't really care to see them win again, but I can't deny the greatness on their side or Boston. Like mad respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think the Warriors, man.
Okay.
The Warriors, especially with them having home court advantage, they might take this in 6.
Yeah.
That's just me. I think the Celtics have a good chance, but if I was a betting man, I would say the Warriors might have to take my bid.
I don't know, man, because listen, Derek White had a coming out party in this series. If Derek White can resemble what he was doing this series, that's another plus for the Celtics. Like even today, he made some key shots. You also have if the Celtics went small, they'll still be big to be small. For example, they can go Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Remember they got Grant Williams too, right? And for the fifth, they can either go they can go Al Horford or someone like that, I guess. Or they can put another guard if they want to put Derek White in there. Anyway, they could go. The fact is, they could go small too and still be pretty to compete with the speed of the Warriors, I guess, on defense. Because you got to pay attention to Steph Curry. Whoever's guarding Steph, I'm assuming Marcus Smart is going to have that assignment, will not leave Steph Curry at all. You got to stay attached to him at the hip. You gotta stick with him. That's what you gotta do. You remember this video on YouTube talking about how to guard Steph Curry? Then you gotta guard him once he gets out of bed. Shout out to RGC World. You gotta guard him just like that. Get in his face the whole time. That's how you gotta guard Steph Curry.
Steph can't even brush his teeth. We gotta let him wake up, and it's like, all right, he ain't even gonna get to the arena, bro. Like that's literally how you have to guard that guy.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yes, it's interesting. I'm excited to see how they play. So I know I'm going for I think it's gonna be 7 games. I'm going for the Celtics in 7. So in game 1, who you think gonna win? I'm assuming you're going with the Warriors.
Golden State, game 1.
Yeah.
I'm assuming a victory in the 110-point range. Maybe like a 4 to 10 point spread.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with, man. The Warriors are they've been itching to get back to. You know what I mean? They've been itching to get back to the point. They're gonna be playing in a new arena with their fans, with Clay back, with Andrew, with all these guys just ready to go, man. I think it's gonna be a heck of a game 1 in Golden State, and I see them winning it, at least the first game. But I am, like I said, I'm not rooting for either team. I'm just enjoying as a basketball fan. But I see the Warriors. I'm predicting a Warriors championship, bro. Warriors in 6, maybe 7, at least 6.
Yeah. I just have to. I mean, right now the Warriors are favorites to win over Boston. So, I see. I mean, most people are going with the Warriors to win the series. So I understand. It only makes sense they win game 1. I'm choosing the series going 7 games anyway. So if I get this wrong, it doesn't matter. I'm just predicting. I think the Celtics will be on fire for game 1. I think the Warriors may come out a little sluggish because they have a longer rest period than the Celtics. That's what I'm banking on. I think the Celtics can probably still win. Again, the end not going to matter because I think it's going to be 7 games anyway. So that means the Warriors going to still win at home and win there, and like they'll still win in Boston anyway and get home court back. But for game 1 purposes, I'm gonna go with the Celtics. I think they'll be on fire and ready for game 1. That's all I got for that. So
Okay.
yeah, I think the Warriors will get the punch first, and then they'll come back. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going Celtics game 1. You're going Warriors game 1 for the series. You're going for the Warriors in 6, right? I'm going Celtics. I'm going Celtics in 7. So, all right. Yeah.
Okay.
So be good. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast. We'll be reacting to each game in these NBA finals. We hope you guys watch it with us and talk hoops with us as we look forward to this final series in the playoffs. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. So again, shout out to the Miami Heat for putting up a valiant effort. Jimmy Butler balled out. Shout out to the Heat. But yeah, we're looking forward to the finals. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the Heat on a great season. Let's get back to it. Get to work.
Yep.
Get back. Shout out to Boston shout out to these young pups, emerging, doing their thing. I wish them well. It's gonna be a great finals, man. Shout out to the Swishes. Shout out to y'all for tuning in and sticking with us, subscribing and liking all the content. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel, the Swish Masters Podcast. Turn the notification bell on. Follow us on all podcast platforms as well. Spotify, Apple, Google. We're out here. I've been your co-host, Zay, the executive producer.
Yeah, one final note. A lot of y'all watching the videos, but y'all ain't subscribing though. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit it. You watching the video, go on and hit the subscribe button. It take just a click. It's all good. Just a click. If you can, please.
Y'all want to see us? Y'all know y'all want to hear from the Swish Masters, man. We talk that real analysis of the game, man. So yeah, be sure to follow us, man.
for sure.
Only going up from here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Remember, we got a website. Y'all check that out. YouTube, all that, podcasts and all locations, like my co-host said. Also, I want to give a shout out to another team out there that's playing hard. They're doing their best to do what they can. Shout out to the OKC Thunder. Keep tanking, boys. Keep tanking. That's what we want to see. Get these high draft picks. We ain't got all these picks for no reason.
God.
Keep tanking. Keep losing. Shout out to OKC for losing. There we go.
Oh my God.
All right, this is co-host QtheGuru. All right, y'all. We see y'all later on this week.
Peace. What up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.